Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience. It is 888-283-7272, or you can always send me an email to New Prescription for America. What are you struggling with? Diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, fibromyalgia, the list goes on and on. It's amazing. But it's all about choices, lifestyle choices. And the amazing thing about it is if you can lifestyle your way into getting sick, you can lifestyle your way out and truly get well. And that's what we want to empower you to do here on this show. We're going to go now to Doug. Hi, Doug.
Thank you. Well, a lot of times it's encouraging to hear other people's successes or reports of things that have done, improved their health, I guess. And my mother had half her pancreas taken out 20 years ago in May. And the other half been almost 9 years now.
Wow.
And most people, even in the medical community, will tell you that that's not possible. And she's done it with nutrition. When she found out she had a pancreas problem, she started doing research to see what that meant, and it was not a pretty picture. And she chose to go homeopathy or use nutrition, and they told her, well, that hadn't been proven. And she said, well, if I'm going to die anyway, what difference does it make?
Right.
So she's made 20 years without a pancreas to prove that nutrition is something that's worth considering at least.
Wow, Doug, that really is amazing. So she's gone 20 years. They've completely removed her pancreas?
Well, half of it 20 years ago, and the other half almost 9 now. This fall will be 9 years.
What did they tell her when they removed the second half of it?
Yeah.
What did they tell her?
Well, like I said, 20 years ago, they told her that nutrition has not been proven that she needed to take the drugs they were recommending. And she said, no, I don't want to take your drug. I want to do anything I can to maintain my health with nutrition. And they said, well, that just hasn't been proven. And she said, well, fine. If I die, I die. But, they didn't offer any hope for her with their protocol. And so she was able to live 11 and a half years with half a pancreas. And what they found out is if you survive what they call the Whipple procedure,
sure,
more than a couple of years, there's a good chance what's left of your pancreas will develop another tumor. And she went 11 and a half years, and it did develop another tumor, and they had to take the rest of it out in a Whipple redo. But I just encourage anybody it's really frustrating. You want to share with people and say, consider nutrition. Well, my doctor says this, or my doctor says, well, okay, but, they aren't trained in everything.
That's right.
And if you hear of other people's success or whatever, I just want to encourage people to at least consider nutrition, good nutrition, on the road traveling tonight, coming through an area, and just heard you for the first time. And I thought, well, I wanted to pass that encouragement on people to take charge of your health. Don't be drinking the high fructose corn syrup and all the things that are making us fat and sick and whatever. But take responsibility and eat healthy and turn your life around.
No, I think, Doug, that's just a great point. I'm glad you called in to share that, because so many people sometimes get on the fence and they don't know who to listen to and who to believe. And our physicians that we have, we're all trained a certain way. You do have to do a lot of extra training in natural-based care and making better food choices, better lifestyle choices all the way around. And it's just not taught in medical school. And I know I didn't learn it. And so the reality is there's a lot of extra training that has to happen. And then once you get into your specialty, you get so focused in that area, and there's so many hours in the day, and then you get a family. People just don't have time to study the extra to go into more of the natural-based care. And so, I'm glad that your mom went that route. It sounds like she's doing great. That is fantastic to hear that story. And I know that encouraged someone else too. And the body is amazing. It can regenerate, even function very well if you give it the right raw materials to do that. So the answers are out there. And it really comes down to prevention. It comes down to not ever letting your body get to the point where things can break down at that level too. And that's only learning ahead of time. A lot of people don't learn, and they have to learn during the process, I'm sure, like she did. But she jumped in and said, you know what, I'm gonna beat this regardless. I'm going to make the best choices I can that I know to do. And then look where she is today. She's thriving in the midst of having Whipple procedures and having or pancreas removed. It's just incredible. That's a great story. And you're right, it is about taking responsibility for your health and for your life and not relying on other people. To get wisdom from your doctor, for those that are trained more than the average person, and understanding that, doing your own research, and being responsible for your own health and not relying on everybody else to do it. You can get guidance, but at the end of the day, it's going to be up to your choices and what you do every single day that can empower your health and empower your life. And that's just a great story. So tell your mom we said hi, and we're proud of her. We're big fans of her. I'll tell you, I am already, and I've never met her. So good to talk with you. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Check us out on the web. There you'll find Facebook and Twitter, both at Dr. Asa On Call as well. You can join and stay posted with everything going on within the show and all the growth and the live events that we have coming around the corner. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You want to jump in and stay tuned. Also, our free email newsletter. Let's go now to Robert. Robert, welcome to the show.
How you doing, sir?
Living well, as always. What's up?
Everything is going okay. Well, no, everything ain't going okay. You know, I mean, no, Doc. I'm having some problems. I've been through a lot of stuff. Okay, 2 years ago, I had a brain tumor in my pituitary gland, and they went in and took it out. And I've been doing okay since then. You know, I had some problems. You know, along with that, you know, I had blood clot in my lung and had all kinds of stuff going on. You know, I went through a lot of pain, and I went through a lot of stuff. But now that most of that's gone, you know, I'm doing a whole lot better. They give me medicine, but which I really can't take a lot of medicine because it, you know, don't do me good. And so I don't like taking prescription stuff if I can help it. And I was just wondering, is there anything that I can do to help myself?
So you've done all the medicine
without having to take, you know, Viagra and all that stuff. You know,
and Cialis and all that.
Yes, I don't do well with that. You know, I've tried it, but I don't do well with it. Slowly, it built itself back up, and so I assume everything was getting better, but it's not getting better. You know,
Yeah.
I went back about 2 months ago, and you know, he checked me again, and he did tests on me, and he said that things look good. And I told him, I said, well, there's something wrong, and then they sent me to a specialist in Chapel Hill. And I went up to him, and he did tests on me too, and then he wants to put me on shots, and I don't want to take shots either.
Yeah, I got it.
So you know, I don't want to do a lot of drugs and stuff if I can help it.
Do you ever get erections?
No, sir, I can't really. Well, I can, but it's not a firm one.
And not a firm one. And what is your age?
I'm 51.
61?
Well, 50. I'll be 51 in October.
51. Okay. All right, let's do this. There are some options, and I'm going to tell you about those and some of the physiology behind it too, about erectile dysfunction and some of the reasons of what causes it, what you can do to potentially get out of it without having to take the medication. There are some natural options out there based on research, not just hearsay, and they can be very helpful. So why don't you do this? Hang tight, and we'll go into this commercial break, and we're going to talk more about erectile dysfunction, something that so many guys are dealing with. You're definitely not the only one. And we'll get into that when we come back. Want to turn back the clock 15 years and have more energy? This is Dr. Asa telling you to just breathe with LiveO2. LiveO2 delivers the right amount of oxygen we need for optimal health. Go to liveO2.com. That's liveO2.com. Talking about erectile dysfunction. Now, this is one of those topics that a lot of guys just don't want to talk about. And the reality is that there's so many men today that are dealing with it. I mean, it's becoming almost an epidemic in the country. And, you know, you go to see urologists and talk to your primary care physicians as well, and you will ask them. And a lot of guys are coming out and dealing with this, guys with prostate issues. Matter of fact, one of the leading complications of prostate surgery is impotence. And when guys start getting enlarged prostates, called benign prostatic hypertrophy or BPH, when guys start getting that, it becomes a real downhill slope for erections. So here's the deal. Cialis and Viagra and those medications, they're called phosphodiesterase inhibitors. And the phosphodiesterase inhibitors can work very well, but there's some side effects to them that can be not so pleasant and can become a challenge. And really, I know, Robert, for you, you don't want to be relying on a pill the rest of your life to make things happen. Am I right?
That's true.
And it just gets to a point where, there's got to be a way. You're thinking, well, it used to work, and now I'm 51, and it's not working, so what's the deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, and, if you were 81, I guess we always want it to work, but there's a difference between being 51 and 81.
Yes.
So are you married?
No.
Okay. Let me ask you this. When did it go from working to not? Was it all of a sudden, or was it gradual?
It was gradual, but it was like maybe 3.5, 4 years ago.
Were you married then?
Yes.
What happened?
I don't know. It just
Did the divorce? No. Did she pass away? Did you get a divorce? What? Somebody cheat on each other? What happened?
divorce.
Anybody cheat?
No.
Just couldn't make it work?
Yeah.
Who said they couldn't make it work and walked away, you or her?
Me.
How long ago was that?
About 7 years.
The reason I'm asking that is not to dig too deep in your personal life, but the reason I'm asking that is because erectile dysfunction has two main components. It can be physiological and it can be psychological. Yeah. And there's a strong psychological component. It's usually about 70-30, 70 psychological, 30% physiological. And so usually if there's an issue, just know that somehow, some way there is, an issue in that area that's got to be worked on. And I'm not a counselor. I don't know what that is. That might be something you want to go talk with a pastor or counselor or someone that you trust and maybe start digging a little bit in there somehow, some way. Okay. I'm just letting you know that. I'm going to give you what research says can make things work better. But I'm just telling you as a friend that there is a strong component to that. And any doctor that doesn't tell you that, they're mistaken, or they're not taking the time to tell you that. They're just writing a prescription and moving on. It's big for erectile dysfunction. Let me tell you a quick example. A lot of guys that work a lot, they can. You'll see guys that come in their 40s and 50s. In the clinical setting, and you send the guy on vacation, like guys that work really hard, like a lot of hours. You send that guy on vacation. I've seen so many times where physicians, friends of mine, have done that, and the guy, it starts working again at the end of the vacation because of stress, and he's away from a lot of the life issues that he's facing. So stress plays a big role too. Now, from a natural perspective, several things are important. Number one, have you been diagnosed with anything? Are you taking medicine for any kind of medical condition?
Okay, I take, they got me on hydrocortisone.
Uh-huh.
That's the only medicine I take now.
What's it for? What are you taking
it
for?
Well, when she put me on it, I was having a lot of pain in my legs and in my arms, and that's what she put me on, and the pain went away.
Did she say you had fibromyalgia?
She might have. She might have.
Okay. So just generalized achy pain, right?
Yes. But see, like I said, 2 years ago I had surgery, okay, and they, went in and took the tumor out. And then a couple of weeks after that, I developed a blood clot in my lung. And then they put me on blood thinners.
Right.
And, to get the blood clot to go away. And eventually it did.
Mm-hmm.
And, but then I started having a lot of pain while I was going through that. And I used to hurt, day, night. It didn't matter. I hurt my legs, my arms. I used to have a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And my surgeon sent me to Chapel Hill. And I talked to a doctor, Sharpless, and she checked me and went over me and stuff. And then she come back and she told me, she said, okay, I'm going to give you some medicine to take. And she gave me, it's called hydrocortisone. Well, that's the generic name for it.
No, it's just, it's cortisone. It raises cortisol in your body. I got it. Okay. And it lowers inflammation.
That's what she put me on. And then when I started taking that, then the pain went away, and I haven't heard anymore. But now, right now I take it every day. But if I miss a dose, I can tell. I'll start feeling bad, and then she told me that if I start feeling bad, just increase the dosage a little bit, and I'll get better. But as long as I take that medicine every morning, I'm fine the rest of the day.
All right. I probably
first
could be
I thought maybe, one time I asked the urologist, I said, well, could that be a cause? Could that, be affecting me in any way? And he said he didn't think it would. So,
well, let me share a couple things with you. Okay, I don't have much time, but here, I could be on this call for 30 minutes actually, but I can't. Here's the deal. Lowering inflammation in the body is what's going to help with the whole cortisone deal, okay, the hydrocortisone that you're taking. So I'd encourage you to get a copy of my book, Empowering Your Health. Read through that. If you're not a big fan of following a new diet plan, look into it because it could be helpful to you. From erectile dysfunction, NO2 production, nitric oxide was up for a Nobel Prize, the guy that did a research on it, showing that it can help erection and also all kind of vascular ability, even with heart function in the body. Arginine, citrulline are the two amino acids that work together to produce the NO2 in the body. So you want to look up NO2 and the research on that. There are supplements they make for that. Also, tribulus can help with testosterone levels and also luteinizing hormone in the body. Can be very helpful. And working out with weights 3 days a week has proven to raise growth hormone levels, which can help with erections as well. But consistent cardio activity is a big component with all of these.
Want to turn back the clock 15 years and have more energy? This is Dr. Raisa telling you to just breathe with LiveO2. LiveO2 delivers the right amount of oxygen we need for optimal health. Go to liveO2.com. That's liveO2.com.
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
Lines are open, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Check us out on the web. Scripture for the day, Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 19. It says, when God gives any man wealth and possessions and enables him to enjoy them, to accept his lot and be happy in his work, this is a gift from God. So powerful and so true. Kids get extra calories, they're saying now, from foods outside the home. So even though parents may be trying to make a better environment in the home, they're getting it more on the outside. U.S. children are eating more, and the extra calories often come from foods eaten while they are away from home, whether it's at friends or school or whatever. So overall, children eat about 180 to 200 calories more a day than children did decades ago, according to a study by Jennifer Pott, a doctoral student at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. We found that kids eat a relatively constant level of calories at home. But in addition to that, kids are eating an increasing number of calories outside the home. Fast food, including food taken home to eat, store-bought prepared foods, are also fueling the rise in calories, she says. And the findings may help parents raise their children and reduce excess calories. The childhood obesity epidemic, now it's tripled in the last 30 years, according to the CDC, is something that we all need to be concerned about. And I think that as parents, having some kind of oversight of what your kids are doing, even outside the home, or laying principles in them and teaching them how, even though the food may be available, doesn't mean they need to eat it, and what it can do to them long term, especially in obesity. And I think one of the biggest challenges that we're finding today with the obesity issue with our kids is that parents are obese. So it's kind of hard if you're a fat parent to tell your kid, hey, don't do this because you'll get fat, because you're kind of leading by example when you're about 100 pounds overweight and you're, obviously you're trying to teach your kid not to. It's not going to work. Kids don't do what we say, they do what we do. So you might want to think about that a little bit. I think that's one of the biggest challenges we're facing in America right now. It's challenging, but it can change. But again, nothing changes until we change. And when we change, that's when everything changes, and life can go to another level for the better. 888-283-7272. Don't forget Facebook and Twitter. If you're not involved, we'd love to invite you. You can like us. You can follow us, whatever you want to do. You can go to Facebook and Twitter, both. Let's go to Phyllis now. Hi, Phyllis.
I'm an entrepreneur who is undergoing severe overwhelm right now because I wear several different hats, and as you know, entrepreneurs don't work an 8-hour day. We work 10, 12, sometimes 18 hours a day. I am normally very healthy. I have known, I'm a little bit older, but I have known for many, many years that, what you put into your body dictates your lifestyle. And I've always done my best to lead a very healthy lifestyle. I exercise regularly. I practice yoga. I do not eat processed foods. I do the whole 9 yards health-wise. But I am experiencing some overwhelm right now. Normally, exercise, yoga, kava, and St. John's wort are perfect antidotes to overwhelm, in addition to socialization and just talking with friends. But for some reason, the overwhelm is just really beginning to get the best of me.
Well, if you feel overwhelmed, first things first, you've got a lot going on, right? And life just can throw curveballs at you, and sometimes life just is life, and it can be a struggle, and it can be a challenge. But at the end of the day, you've got to look at brain chemistry. You've got to look at stress management. You have to look at what are you doing to make a change. And even though life is throwing you some issues that you're having a hard time dealing with, that I would look at brain chemistry first. And a couple things. Acetylcholine is one of the main brain chemicals, but also GABA. And GABA is gamma-aminobutyric acid. And it's one of the neurotransmitters that really, when we change and we can build those neurotransmitters up, then our body can begin to chill out and handle stress in life a little bit better. And so understanding that is always a key. So let me share some nutritional items that could be very helpful that you might want to look up, all right, and do some research on. But for acetylcholine, there's certain foods that you can include in your diet that they've shown that can help the brain chemistry of acetylcholine. That's eggs, beef, nuts, cheese, and yogurt. Those foods have been shown to help with acetylcholine levels. And then also, there's certain supplements that can help too. Now, vitamin B5 is always a gold standard for brain chemistry, as well as B6. But for acetylcholine, phosphatidylcholine, which is called lecithin, and it's actually found in egg yolks. That's why the eggs were so beneficial in the foods that they listed that can help with acetylcholine levels. Now, GABA is another one, and that's the big one for anxiety. So when GABA levels are low, anxiety is high. That's why we give drugs docs give drugs in medicine called benzodiazepines, and the benzos. And you give something like a Xanax, and what it does is somebody has a lot of anxiety. Well, it raises the GABA levels. So it raises GABA and causes a person to chill out. So it's interesting how that whole deal works. And it's pretty powerful, too, at the same time. So in the middle of that, I would encourage you, obviously you're managing your lifestyle choices, eat healthy, exercise, you do what you do. But it comes down to brain chemistry. It's kind of like weight loss. Weight loss at the end of the day, when you get down to those last 15 to 20 pounds, it really comes down to the hormones. And balancing hormones is a real big key, whether it's thyroid, estrogen, progesterone, whatever. So for stress and stress management, usually it comes from brain chemistry. GABA, acetylcholine are the two you're probably looking at. So you might want to do some research on those, and that probably will be helpful to you. That's another hour in the chart, so I'd like to thank our producer, John Garrison, Leslie Pardue, and the rest of the team. Go tell one person something you learned on this show, and together we can change the health of our friends, our families, and our communities. Diagnosing hope, one person at a time, whether you're absolutely thriving or challenged in a hospital bed. Remember, there's always hope to get your health back.
Listen to the ASA RX audio experience on Spotify and Pandora. For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at asarx.com/experience.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to asarx.com and get your free book today.
This episode is over, but check episode notes for links to products and services you've heard about on this episode. Thanks for listening and subscribing. Please share the ASA RX audio experience with others and stay in touch by giving us your comment or review.